Maybe this is the hardest thing for any mother to accept. After working hard for most of her life, raising her children with care and endless effort, she suddenly realizes one day that her overprotection has turned them into people who only know how to spend money, without much sense or responsibility. In the end, before her illness worsened, the mother made up her mind. She wanted her children to learn to survive without her shield, and face this harsh world on their own. So she decided to fake bankruptcy, and moved her children to a poor neighborhood to start anew. She made a rule: everyone must hand in a set amount of living expenses every month. At that moment, the three children still didn't think it would be that hard to do. They thought their so-called friends would definitely lend them a hand when things got tough, but this cruel world was quick to give them a painful first lesson. Inkai confidently went for a designer interview, only to realize then that aside from spending money, she had no real work experience. She finally found a place that didn't require a degree, but got turned away because she was considered too old. Meanwhile, Ingshu dreamed of marrying his girlfriend to become part of her wealthy family, but when she saw the plain ring without a diamond, and heard about his family's bankruptcy, the woman who only cared about money immediately turned cold, mocking him for thinking he could reach above his station. Even the pregnancy she mentioned was a lie. Only then did he realize her love for him existed only as long as the money did. Ingjuan's situation was even worse. He called his close friends to drink and ask for help, but once they heard he was broke and wanted to borrow money, they all quietly disappeared, deleting his contact right away. When Ingjun realized what happened, he was left sitting there all alone, betrayed by his friends, and even taken to the police station for not being able to pay the bill. For the three siblings who were already penniless, things only got worse. With Doshio's help, Ingjun was finally released from the police station, but Doshio didn't break Fumei's plan. He even reminded Ingjun that he still owed him 300,000 in bar tabs. At dinner, their mother looked at her defeated children and gently asked how their day went. The three of them began to complain tearfully about the harsh truths they faced. Inkai said her legs were sore from walking all day, and no company wanted to hire someone like her. Ingshu told his mom that he had been used by his girlfriend. She only cared about money and even lied about being pregnant. He cried, saying that after the bankruptcy, all his friends had cut him off. The three of them were slapped hard by reality. Seeing them cry before her, Fumei's heart ached deeply. She put all the best food into their bowls, but she knew she couldn't let their tears soften her resolve. She didn't have much time left. This was the only way to make them grow quickly and adapt to this fast and unforgiving world. She thought after what happened today, her children would finally understand hardship. But when she came home the next afternoon, all three were still sound asleep. Their excuse was that they had bought a lucky lottery ticket and believed if they dreamed of a big fat pig while sleeping, they would win the jackpot. They said this with confidence and went right back to sleep, dreaming their unrealistic dreams. Fumei looked at her hopeless children and angrily stepped outside. She grabbed the watering hose and marched into their room, splashing water over them. Determined to wake up these dreamers lost in fantasy, they had no choice but to face reality, and went out again to look for jobs. After constant effort, Ingshu happened to meet his old classmate Dojin, who learned he was job hunting, and said her family happened to need an English tutor. That's how Ingshu finally found a decent job. Inkai, on the other hand, after repeated rejections, broke down crying on the street. Having grown up pampered, she couldn't bear such hardship. Unable to cope, she turned to her last resort, Hunnam, though he wasn't too willing at first. He finally agreed to let her work at his company, after much pleading. Meanwhile, Fumei, searching for the son taken from her years ago, returned to her hometown after more than 30 years. It was there that another woman had taken her baby back then. What she didn't expect was that the same woman had already arrived there too.